Oh. Can I give you a hand, Richard?
No, I'm fine.
Are you sure, mate? Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, do you want to tie up next to me?
Is that what he was saying as well?
Yeah. Is that what he's saying to you?
No, he didn't say that to me. No, yeah, that little mallet's good, isn't it? Yeah. Just handy, precise, and it will go in.
Too awkward, isn't it? I'm trying to. You can hear the ever splutter. Trying. It whirs.
Do you know what, mate? Listen, rather than be cold tonight, get your stove on. I mean, it's.
I'll just see how it goes.
One run on the stove's not going to make any. It's not going to dirty it up.
I've cleaned it all up.
Mate, don't let OCD get in the way of comfort. Honestly.
I've got the chimney down and everything.
Yeah, just put it back on. Mine goes on and off in a second. Mate, keep warm.
Evenings, I don't mind. It's in this week when it's going to get really, really chilly.
Do you know what I've just done? I didn't tell you this. Obviously, I haven't had time, but I broke I've got like an office chair. Remember that officey type swivel chair?
Yeah.
Well, it broke, right? I actually, I fell over backwards onto the floor last night. I just sat on it just then. I forgot it broke, leaned back, and I just hit the floor again. Oh. Fancy forgetting that the chair's bust. I did exactly the same thing. So I've spilled a cup of coffee cup of cocoa all over the bloody floor.
Yeah.
I was going to say, what you fancy doing later? Do you pop over to the boozer or something? Or
can do, yeah.
Because I've got a few cans as well, to be honest. So if you want to pop in or whatever and have a few beers. Film a little bit of scenery. So yeah, I've got to be honest. There are some times, you know, I regret not getting a 57 footer. You know, a little bit more storage, a little bit more. Sometimes. Nice big lounge, you know, wouldn't you like another 7 footer?
Remember that when the last mooring spot, you can just about get your 50 in.
Yeah.
You won't be going, oh, I wish I had a 57.
So you're happy yours is big enough then, Richard?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. It's not how big it is.
It's what you do with your boat that counts. But no, there's just times, you know, there's the odd little time where I'm sort of, you know, I look at the interior of some of the 60 footers and you see a big long kitchen, then a lounge, then a dinette, and I think I'd clear out the dinette and I'd have a massive lounge. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? A big open lounge.
Oh, nice. Almost like a house, really.
It'd be almost like a little apartment, yeah. And to be honest, that's probably that's the one thing I think I'd change. But I don't think I would have got a 57 footer for this. I couldn't have afforded. Like, this was, I think it was 6.5 years old. It wasn't even 7 years old, you know.
Yeah.
When I bought it. In fact, was it even 6? I don't think it was quite 6. So it was really young boat, relatively. Yeah. And I got it for 50k.
You wouldn't, 57. It's a price premium.
Yeah. I would have had to go 5 years older, wouldn't I? And for me,
at least.
Yeah, at least 5 years older. I was really, really lucky. It was just before the prices rocketed up. Yes. There was like a quiet period in about April of 2020 where not many boats were shifting because no one could move.
Yeah.
To go and view them.
And then that first summer was where it
Yeah. And I did my deal. Well, I made my first approach. It was up for sale a couple of times. No one was even contacting him. And then all of a sudden, when I put my offer in, so all of a sudden he sort of said, oh yeah, now another 2 people have just been in touch, and there was different offers coming in. You know, it started, I could tell the interest had started to suddenly pick up
again, yeah.
Towards the end of the lockdown, sort of June, I don't know. Because the thing is, I thought, you could look at it in one point of view, like, oh, that's a waste, like depreciation. But actually, I think so far, in the last 2.5 years, it's actually gone up in price a little bit.
It probably has.
Yeah. It might go down again, but for now, I'm actually ahead.
It won't surprise me. For comparison, mine's probably 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I paid 40,000 for that in early 2022.
Did you buy in 2022?
Early 2022.
Bloody hell, yeah, because I had the impression you sort of were about the same age of boater experience, so to speak, as me.
No.
But you were a relative newcomer when we met in Chester, weren't you?
Yes.
I was already afloat.
That's my first summer, yeah.
Yeah, I'd been afloat 2 years, but I say afloat, right, but I don't think. I spent 4 months in Swanley Bridge Marina, and I don't really think that counts. God, my bloody arm's aching already. Honestly.
You not got that selfie
I didn't bring it, mate, to be honest, no. I really should have, because holding your arm out is surprisingly tiring. It really is. Yeah, so you're definitely off tomorrow yet? Have you made your mind up?
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow.
100%.
Oh yeah. Yeah, turn the fridge freezer back on. Put the ice bottles back in the freezer.
Oh, right, you're making your preps, are you?
Recharging the batteries tomorrow, so...
Yeah, I had to switch the solar panels off this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I heated up.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I've got so much electricity. Yeah.
Water boiling.
Yeah. I'm solar bragging and heat bragging.
Heat bragging, yeah.
Which is only a boater would ever do. But water point more than only. I think I might just pop over there on the way past, you know. You might as well, mightn't you, fill up while you can?
Oh, go towards Lynn.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking now.
Use Peel's water.
Yeah, use the water well. I'm thinking about paying for an extra week and just hang around the Bridgewater.
Oh. Just take your number plate off the. And see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. That'll be fun, won't it? It'll be like that. What was it? Escape from New York, or Escape from the Bridgewater. My version on a canal boat.
2 films, didn't they? Escape from New York.
Yeah, Escape from LA. Yeah. I do like it. Apparently, he's got a great sense of humour as well. You know, Kurt Russell it is, isn't it? Yeah, he's not like one of those arsehole sort of superstars.
Right.
He's actually sort of okay. So, who knows?
In real life?
Yeah, the problem with me even saying that is how the hell would I know? It's all rumours anyway, you know. Do you know there are actually websites, I heard, where they list the stars who are actually arseholes in real life?
Oh, you heard of this website? Not been on it though.
I've not been on it, no. Well, to be honest, I don't feel any connection with them. They're on a different planet, aren't they?
Yeah.
In terms of incomes and existence.
I don't do celebrity
following
or personally.
I did wave at Billy Bremner, was it? Not Billy Bremner. Rory Bremner.
Oh, Rory. Is he
the impressionist?
I used to watch his 20 years ago.
He was excellent, but he's on a canal boat. I was on a canal boat holiday with my ex in 2013, I think it was, on the Ashby Canal, and I couldn't believe it. He goes past us, steering a canal boat. Yeah, so he's obviously a bit of an enthusiast.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, because I've always been like, I don't even care. I couldn't
doing impressions of Tony Blair.
Yes, yeah, well. So no, but he's one. But there's a few. There's the Tim, what's his name, and Prunella Scales. Rest in peace, Prunella Scales. I believe she died, did she?
I've never watched the programme, but
see, as a would-be canal enthusiast, I thought you'd be all over that back in your early days. No,
I can't say I have.
Was it because they were sort of celebs that you didn't
really
bother?
Watch telly, I didn't really watch much telly, to be honest.
Well, I at the time I was living with my ex, so I sort of, if you sat in the lounge, the telly was just up. Yeah, 2013 I sort of moved in with her up in Newcastle, or started making a move, and I think I left in 2018. So I was up there for about 5 years. Anyway, I'm not even a footballer. I felt like a fraud because it's been like 13 years since Newcastle, where I even went to a game. So I sort of follow it rather than support it, if you know what I mean.
Right, you hear them on, like when I used to work, the right wingers and the midfielders and transfer window and and I'd just go, oh, did you see that ludicrous display last night? From the IT crowd. So that was superb. That was polymaths. second favourite because I love that sort of comedy, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's my second favourite.
I saw the title, and stupidly, I thought, that's not for me, that. No way. A comedy called The IT Crowd, absolutely no chance. But it was anything but, you know, it was brilliant when I watched it. That Richard Ayoade, or whatever his name is, absolute genius.
I think it's the Irish writer that writes them.
It was Father Ted.
Because I love Father Ted as well.
Do you know what was interesting about it? Right, the first time it came on the TV.
Yeah.
And it was while I was up in Newcastle, as I say, living with the ex and that. And it came on the TV, and I'd watched it for about 10 minutes. I don't even know if it was 10 minutes. And I said, "Do you know something?" I said, "This reminds me somehow of Father Ted."
Yeah, it's the same
just. Writer. And I picked up on the fact that it was written by the same guy after watching it for 5 minutes. I mean, I should really be. I'm like a critical genius, and I don't even know it. Well, how many people would have spotted that it was Father Ted writer? Probably everyone, really.
Well, it says at the start, written by.
No, but if you had, I never noticed. I never read credits and that. I just. So here we are at last. Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a fan of walking for booze, you know.
Maybe we should have just fired up one of the boats and reversed.
Down to the water point,
yeah.
Do you know if we were on Arco? I made a sort of a resolution that if the shop, wherever I was moored, if the shops were less than half a mile away, I was definitely walking it, like I was never using a bike.
Yeah.
And if it was a mile, I'd to walk if it wasn't raining.
Yeah, no, that's a good keep you moving.
But, you know, like today, the nearest shop was the Shell garage. And that was 2.7 miles that. So as a walk, it's great, but it's sort of an hour and a half's worth almost, isn't it? An hour 10, hour 20.
Yeah.
And it just takes too long. I can't be arsed with it. So that's where the bike. Plus, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Plus, on your way back, you've got a heavy weight. You know, if it's one of those things where you're doing a beer shop, you might have a 10-pack of lager or something. I mean,
true.
Plus your normal shopping, by the way. My sort of thinking was, at the time I was on the Llangollen, down by Wixall Moss, and the nearest shop was, I think it was like 6 miles away. It was Prees, but it was a rubbish shop. It really was bad.
A Spar.
It was like
a Spar in Gowgate when they were selling two-day old bread. You know, packets.
Yeah.
It had a reduced sticker, and they're going, I'm sure. They can't even, you know. 2 days past it best before, and it's not boat. They don't.
Limberina boat sales. Well, they sort of. They don't build the
shells,
shells, I don't think.
No, they get the shells.
They fit them out,
sales.
And loads of people do it, but I am a bit suspicious about how much money you actually save in the end by the time you've finished. In fact, I spoke to one woman in the laundrette. She bought a sail away, and it was someone else's failed project.
Yeah.
They were the second owners of the sail away, and it still took them 4 years. Living aboard.
If people can't do sailways, then project boats are a definite disaster in the making.
Do you know what, Richard Rice? I sort of, my heart breaks for some of these guys, because you know they haven't got a massive budget.
It's all, I can do this for a couple of grand.
And I haven't got a massive budget. You know what I mean? I can't go spending whatever I want and getting a 150 grand boat and all this. I can't do that. But the what?
I can't either.
No, but and we're all subject to constraints.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are some people who buy a 200 grand narrowboat and leave it in the marina, except 2 weeks. They'll use it for 2 weeks or whatever. But I'm not knocking them if they've got the money. Go for it, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, go for it. And actually, from our point of view, it's a plus, because it's a boat. It's an extra licence that CRT have got money from.
Subsidising.
They're subsidising us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because they only use the facilities maybe a month or two a year, and they're paying basically a full year's licence. So
did you fill out the consultation, or did you not?
No, didn't bother. I've got a theory that it doesn't matter what you say.
They've made their mind up.
Yeah, the prices are definitely going up. In my mind, there's no question about it. They're going up. It's only a question of how much they go up by.
You know, what group to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
and it'll squeeze some people. I think it's really sad because there's a lot of interest in boaters, nice people who can currently afford.
You can just get by.
By. It was sort of on the edge almost. And another £1,000 a year might just push them over the edge.
I think it's either pay more or close canals. Really, I think that's with the government subsidy.
Yeah.
You know, injected. That's just my opinion.
No, I mean, you know,
it's easy for me to say.
It's not CRT's fault. I'm sure they do their best with what money they've got.
Yeah.
They're not getting the money from government.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I know people bash them and say if they spend it all on salaries,
on blue signs,
blue signs, and expensive PR consultants and all this.
Yeah.
And I do think there's a bit of that goes on. I think because I work for the NHS and even we did that.
Yeah.
You know.
I think this is the old.
Is this a little short? Yeah. This is the one I didn't spot on the map. But yeah, you know, every government department loves a bit of sort of sexy consultation with a firm, you know, and they'll pay them, or they'll hire someone.
Yeah.
You're our new PR guy, or you're in charge of media. What does that mean? We don't know, but it sounds good. You know? You're in charge of it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
100 grand a year. I do think there is some of that goes on.
It's everywhere. It doesn't matter who runs it, whether it's. Probably had British Waterways employee.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Sort of, you know.
Consultants and stuff, or specialists in that field. But anyway, you know, so I'm not blaming them, and I think you're right, they're not getting the budget, and I'm okay with the idea of the price going up, but it does make me sad because I know there's boaters who it's going to force off the canal. That's a shame, that makes me sad. And they're nice guys as well. You know, I know there's some head cases like that guy. You know, drunk at midday. Yeah,
on the door. He said to me, "I'm on the door." Tell me your clothes. There's no card.
Oh. Will the other place be open? Do you know what, mate? To be honest, right? It's closed. Yeah, that's closed. That. No, there was someone sat in their garden when I went past 2 days ago, so it is. Yeah. Listen, mate, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? If we do walk back in that direction, I'm going to check on Google Maps and see if that's a bit quicker. But so that was a bummer. I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of long walks to pubs. I'm really not. But this is a nice place. To be honest, do you know something though?
Little Bollington.
I wonder, Little Bollington. I wonder if there's a chance this place is closed as well. Because if they shut at 8 on a Sunday, are they going to be busy enough? It's Monday, yeah. I think one of us will have to be sacrificed to my anger.
You've got the owner. Did you go shopping yet?
I got a couple, mate, but bad news. You know, I've not got a full ration.
I've got a couple of bottles of wine. Are you red wine drinker?
I'm not a red wine. I've got 4, I think, but they're pint ones, so I've got enough. But I've only got enough for one man to survive on.
Okay. Well, I've got one, so I'll have a change anyway. I'll have a change.
I'm not a red wine man. But to be honest, it might not come to that. I might be panicking for nothing like I usually do. There seems to be a light on outside. Well, I was amazed that this place basically closed at 8 o'clock last night. I couldn't believe that.
Probably we don't get the custom.
The English pub culture used to be absolutely thriving.
I know.
It was huge.
Interesting.
Oh my God, mate, a Bentley. Oh, my someone properly rich in here. But at least that's an indication it's open.
It's open.
So Okay, Richard, well, the good news is you'll survive tonight.
I'll survive tonight, yeah.
There was no guarantee that was going to happen. After 2 disappointments, normally the penalty is death. Do you know something? You'll notice, right? I never do that. When I do these videos, I never make a comment of, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I never ever say that. Because I don't think it makes any difference.
It's a bit.
And even if it did, the ones that are persuaded by that sort of thing would probably end up going out. Do you know what? So my theory is that I'm left with people.
You don't do it for a living now, so there's no pressure.
Yeah.
I've got to get the money. You've got to get the money in.
I don't think many people make much of a living out of it. You know, I started saying this.
People think it's a good living.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think it is.
Well, I'll tell you something, right? You know, Cruising the Cut. He has 250,000 subscribers, or something crazy number of subscribers. And I remember when he first started. I used to watch him back in 2017 or 16 when he first started, and I was interested in that. It was like a van of that or van life.
He does a van one now.
He does a van one. Isn't it funny? The number of people. I wasn't going to go there, right? I was going to carry on about YouTube, but I think this is an interesting topic to me because I considered van life. I mentioned this earlier on. I considered van life right the way through. Like that was, and it was the X as well. We were talking about not van life as such, but spending months at a time in a motorhome and then, you know, having a house as well, sort of.
For the winter.
Yeah, something like that, you know, whatever. You'd have a house and you'd have a motorhome and you would alternate between them. Like some people do with their narrowboats.
Yeah.
And we talked about it for ages, then we went on to sort of potentially, I think we went on to narrowboats. And in my mind, the thing was never quite settled between them. And I'm interested to know, is it something you've ever thought about? A van life, or is that too small and hard?
Definitely when I was a teenager.
But not in your adulthood though? Oh, was it a teenager?
Yeah. I remember, I was 17, 18. Oh, one day I'd like to... You know, it was more of a dream, really.
But the thing is, it wasn't big back then. So when were you... Do you mind me asking what year was this?
Late noughts, 2008.
Sort of 2008ish, yeah. So it was becoming a thing, but it wasn't
just left
huge
school,
then.
and I thought, just go around in a... Not a van, in a motorhome.
A motorhome, yeah.
But I didn't really have any money. So it was...
No, but since then, right? Since then, if you've got a budget to do motorhoming, right? Because don't forget, right? The other thing about being in a motorhome is you've not got. What you do is you find a good spot like the Lancaster where it's easy. There's job options, transport's good. Yeah. It's an ideal scenario. Yeah. But if you had a motorhome, you could essentially go anywhere. You could go anywhere because you're not limited, and it takes you. It might take you like a week or two. It took me 2.5 months to work my way up from the River Great Ouse. Now, I did stop a lot. I was working 3 days a week, so it's not really that. But I reckon it probably would have took me a month at a slowish pace. I would have had to keep moving, say 4 days a week. It's hard to move a narrowboat across the country, whereas with a van, you could do it in a day.
Yeah.
Give you more options. You see what I mean?
Yeah. The disadvantage really is they're not really built for winter, are they?
Well, do you know something? Right, you say that.
Surprise me. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm just. I was moving that out of my eye.
Would you rely on an Eberspacher?
No, because they use diesel air heaters now, so they don't need to rely on Eberspachers. They'll buy a cheap Chinese one, run it for 5 years, buy it for 100 quid. They're literally 150 quid, just a space heater and air heater.
Yeah.
They're 150 quid, they'll run it for 5 years, the thing will die, and they'll just buy a brand new one. Exactly, they're essentially a disposable item. That's what they do. That's people's approach now. It's gotten that way that they don't expect, they're surprised if they last more than 5. If they last 10. But they haven't been around, the thing is, right, they haven't been around that long. I only started hearing about these cheap Chinese, because before then your only option was Eberspacher or Spacher.
Or Webasto.
Or Webasto, they were your two options. Suddenly, about 6-7 years ago, I think it was, someone will correct me, but suddenly these Chinese ones became available. And they suddenly became available on the market. there's a glut of them, and all of a sudden all the van life is like brilliant. We can keep our van warm. You know,
£100 every
150.
150 every 5 years, so that ebb has lasted 15 plus years, if you like. Yeah. It's still cheaper.
That's a nice pipe, that.
This one's nice.
What is that?
Can't remember. It was a coach house brewery. I only remember the brewery because.
Do you know, honestly, mate, I'm impressed with that. It's yeah, it's really smooth. It's not too bitter. It's just got a very slight sweetness to it. I really, it's just a nice brew. Because I've tried Landlord in bottles. You know, they have a selection of ales in like Asda and stuff. And I've tried Landlord, and I've not liked it as much as I like that.
I wonder if we both. No, because he used a different tap, so I don't think we've got different beers. Just one.
No, mine's lighter. Mine's very slightly lighter.
Okay.
But no, you know, is it ever something, right? If you put it this way: if you got to an age, say you got to about 70, and you still wanted to travel round a bit,
right?
You weren't happy to go back to bricks and mortar. Would you consider swapping the boat for a van because you could still travel?
It's easier. And funnily enough, when I was looking at the boat that I've got now, the broker was saying the owner, the previous owner now, that quite an elderly lady, she's too frail to handle it, and he was saying she had a plan to use the boat money to get a camper van because they're much easier to handle. So,
well, you must have noticed. Obviously, it won't be just me. How many times have you been doing locks and things, and you've seen an elderly couple rock up in their boat, and sometimes you look at them and you think,
most of the time,
most
now voters are elderly. So.
Listen, don't insult my viewers, Richard. Can I just say that? I never said that. He said that. No.
Well, it's fact.
You see, you gotta watch what you say. If that comment ever gets put into a video, you'll get absolutely roasted, and rightfully so. You're right to do it.
Internet roast.
No, but no, it's a joke, isn't it? But now I've seen a couple, right? And in fact, listen, I met a guy even last winter up by. I was coming out of Chester. It was after we left Chester. Was it the time before? Oh, I don't know. No, it was the time I visited Chester before the time I met you.
You was already at Chester.
I got close to Chester, but on that first visit, I was coming south anyway, and I bumped into this guy by Bunbury Locks.
Okay.
And it was because I know it was a different visit because it was much later in the year. It was colder. It was getting dark at 5 o'clock, and it was cold, and there was no one around. The place was empty. So I bumped into this old guy anyway, and I got talking to him. We cruised around for a bit. We did a couple of days cruising together up towards Northwich, and so as I was talking about what was his story, because he was getting on, and I think he said he was like 75. He was bent double, so he had a spinal problem. He's bent double. I don't know how he managed to sack of coal, and I think he was in some pain with an injury. He's 75, and I was a little bit worried. I was helping him anyway.
I just wonder if he was financially stuck on the boat, if that makes sense.
Not in this case. No, I think there will be a few. Do you know what? It's a fair point, and there's probably a few that do get sort of stuck on their boats. He wasn't one of them. He used to own a building firm. He bought a house in Spain. And he'd lived there for 20 years with his wife. His wife tragically passed away about 5-6 years ago, and he'd come back to England rather than stay in the warm, which surprised me. Come back to England and decided to live on a boat, but he still had a house. He still had money, like he was. Yeah. So in his case, it wasn't. It was just the desire
just carry on
to go boating. Yeah, he just and he was going down onto the Weaver actually. When I left him, he moved on. I left him around Middlewich. Or he left me because I was staying put. He was travelling on.
Yeah.
So when people get to a certain age or level of infirmity, which can happen when you're 40, if you suffer an injury, you can become infirm at 40. Yeah. So this isn't necessarily an old people's thing, but there does come an age where all of us, even if we live healthily and we do the best we can, there still comes that age where you have to ask yourself, is it safe to carry on doing this? And when you reach that age, you've got to make a decision as to whether you try and get hold of a property or move back in that way. Ideally, you do that and keep a camper van, or do you just buy a camper van and, you know, carry on with a fully nomadic life? And do you know what I think? My opinion is it's more of a lonely life. I think the boaters have got more of a community feel. Now, I don't know, because I've never been a van lifer, so I don't know that, I'm guessing. But I bet you it's easier to feel more alone, to be isolated as a van lifer, than it is as a boater. I wonder if that is a guess, that, to be fair.
It's more chatty, isn't it? It's more social.
Going locks. You're out and about doing locks all the time,
You can bump into like somebody you've not seen for a year or two, and you know.
Yeah, well, I bumped into, remember Steve, and what was his missus? We were doing Chester. Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Bumped into them at Whitchurch.
Oh, okay.
Was it Whitchurch?
Anyway, they were heading south.
That's right. Well, they were heading on to Llangollen.
Yeah,
I knew they were going there, but I didn't expect to bump into them. But I bumped into them at Grindley Brook Locks.
Right. Yeah.
And we had a couple of beers.
They've got a different boat now.
No, have they?
Called is it called Ebenezer? Called Ebenezer, and it's one with an engine room, an old engine in an engine room, and.
Not for me.
Not for you. No.
Not for me. Do you want an engine room on your boat? Like a big trad engine and stuff? Is that your thing? Are you a bit of a trad man, yeah? I'm not knocking it. I mean, I'm sort of, I sound like I'm being sarcastic. Well, I am.
Well,
but I'm not seriously being sarcastic.
You've not got your head like in the you know, it's easier to maintain, isn't it? That's why. I
know, but the ones that have engine rooms have trad engines in them, like Listers and Gardeners, and they always have those engines because that's yeah. Yeah. Honestly, that's my thing for the fuel. I've got like a reach in my wallet because that's the fuel boat noise. Whenever I hear it, it's like a reflex action now, like a Pavlovian thing.
Delicious diesel.
Yeah. But they what's his name? But they become like your mates, you know. The fuel boat guys, you know, they go past because they pass once a month, and I've got.
Don't get them on the Lancaster. No fuel boats on the Lancaster. Gotta be prepared.
GRPs, isn't it? So
it's just not enough people. It's not enough.
Yeah,
people. And you know, it's only it's isolated in the winter, so you know, the fuel boats they had to go, you know, a further cover a long length. To make it worthwhile. Lancaster are just stuck, and once you know the few liveaboards have been stocked up, there's no more customers.
Yeah.
So I think people have tried it in the past, but just can't take profit. Really.
There just isn't a custom.
Yeah.
If you could get across the Ribble Link, probably some fuel boat somewhere would give it a go. But could you imagine them full of coal, like that far away from the waterline?
On the middle.
On the Ribble Link. Wow, that'd be a scary trip, that, wouldn't it?
Well, they'd probably go across empty and then stop.
Oh, they'd stop up, of course, yeah.
I'm guessing.
No, I mean, well, I'm just being a dramatic dork, basically. Oh, imagine. Like, and you're just like, no, they just fill up. I think this is why my videos are always so hilariously full of cock-ups, because I never think of the simple answer, you know what I mean? Just don't take the coal with you, just get it when you go, you know? Yeah. I'd be on the boat like, oh, we're all full of coal, disaster.
The problem comes is if you don't sell it, you bring the coal back the other way.
Yeah. Innkeeper's Reserve, please, yeah? Oh.
Because when I went to Tesco, again worked with somebody who was 16, and we're all paid the same. In Tesco, there's no, like, it's whether you're 16 or 70, you're paid the same.
But how physically demanding do you think it would be? So I could get this. I could do a bit of, a bit more walking, get myself in better shape. How much of a challenge physically is the work?
Well, it can be, because you've got big boxes of butter.
I can lift. I'm okay lifting, yeah. I can do that.
It's more...
My arms are okay, my torso's okay.
It's more stretching, so
right.
You go on the little elephant's foot and you've got a stock row. Because I was in the fresh department, you see, so they had short dates. You had to
bring them forward.
You had to make sure, you had to look on the dates and organise so it's all up front, and then you'd have a customer mess it all up to try and get the...
Oh, I always do that.
I do as well. I don't blame them.
I always do. I've done it for years, but it's especially important on a boat because you might not get a chance to go back to a supermarket for a week. Like, if you're a civilian, you can go to the supermarket the next day if you want to. You can buy stuff that's 2 days old. But on a boat, you've got to make sure you've got some stuff that's still going to be okay.
Do you know what that was? Yeah, that's what I do now.
Like a week in?
Yeah, I'd look for the furthest,
if
I'm going in the middle of nowhere.
I used to do it for selfish reasons, now I do it for practical reasons, if you know what I mean. Because I need some stuff to last. There's no point buying like a week's worth of food and it expires in 3 days. It's just...
I tend to plan. Depending on dates, it's what date? I'll eat that tomorrow, and then because that's got another day too, and
No, that's exact. My YouTube viewers aren't going to think this is an interesting conversation. I'm disappointed in you, Richard, but I want to contribute to it because I've got something to say on this.
Go on.
No,
controversial food.
No, it isn't. It isn't. It's exactly the same as you. What I find myself doing is my choice of eating is largely driven by the expiry dates on the things.
Yes.
Especially if I'm out in the sticks. Yeah. Like here, the nearest shop is 2.5 miles away. It's that Shell garage. Yeah. That's the nearest shop, right? And it's got all the basics. It's a bit expensive, but it's got all the basics. You wouldn't do your big shop there. You would not do your big shop, no. Yeah, that would cost
unless you're Alan Partridge.
Yeah, you just don't care.
And that's why, sort of, when I was younger, I was a really keen walker because I really appreciated getting out in natural spaces, to go hiking and stuff. Yeah. It was something, here we go. It was something I just used to really enjoy. I'd love to know what's going on with this cobbles, And also, you've got two different types. You've got this cobble, which coloured, but you've also got plain cobbles. Like, which is older than which? How come this cobble ends here, and then you've got,
Is it like resurfacing?
Yeah, and which is the newer? But this will be from 100 years. This will date back to the mill. In fact, the mill's back that way, isn't it?
That way, over way, yeah. Probably tarmac.
Yeah, but this will date back to the days of the mill.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. And that's what I like about living on the canals is everything. Like go under the bridge and you can still see the toe marks, can't you?
Yeah. Now you see, it's interesting you say that because I'm not a fan. Well, okay, that sounds derogatory when you say, I'm not a fan of that. But I mean it in the original sense where I'm not particularly attracted to it.
Attracted to what, sir?
The old history of the canals, the stonework. But when people say, look, I'm not a fan of that, what they mean is I actually dislike it. I don't actively dislike it, but I'm not a fan.
You don't?
Yeah.
Constant, isn't it? It's a
constant noise, right, you can deal with. It's intermittent noises. One of the noises that's a bit weird here is that woodpecker across the canal. Have you heard it? Yeah. I'm not convinced by your woodpecker impression, mate. I just want to say that because I think it needs some work. You're getting there. Okay. I was wondering at first, because I'm not a sort of a nature boy and I've not spent any time in these places, I didn't even know what it was. That was why it struck me so much. Because I can't remember the last time I heard that noise. But in the places where I've lived all my life, I've never heard it. It's only when I've been out and about. It's a very rare noise. Maybe the species isn't doing well, but look, it's a thing where it's one of the things that you're grateful for of living on the canals, isn't it? That sort of, these odd little natural encounters that you would never have in your city life. And I'm thinking, why do I want to go all the way? It's 2 miles. I mean, it's a nice canal, 1.5 miles. I don't know, it's a couple of miles. Yeah. When really the place I'm interested in getting to is Lynn.
It's Lynn. On my way to Newcastle. So there are some.
The thing that worries me, no, I know there's rings, and there's a 70-year-old couple, the Haggises from Canal World. Absolutely lovely couple, honestly. I met them down by Anderton last winter. Really, really nice. But I think they're sort of late 60s or something. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But they're quite happy staying on moorings in Manchester city centre. And I'm like, how can I be like a big sort of coward? I'm not going in Manchester, And you've got 60-odd-year-olds.
I'm a little apprehensive, but, it's...
Honestly, these people think nothing of it. They cruise in, they moor up. They don't think a thing, Richard. I don't think you have to worry.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, if I end up booking an extra week, which I've got a feeling I might, because I'd rather wait for this bike and get it sorted, get it delivered to my friend's house. I can pick it up. It's all done.
You're going to have a taste of city living.
I'm going to have a taste. I think I was worried.
The 72 hour. I want to say the 72 hour. They had signs saying 72 hour mornings. So the 3 day.
I feel like I'll just be in and out in a night, Yeah. But then I thought that about Chester Basin, and I was there for weeks. It was lovely. But I wonder if I could put.
Oh, you put the main lights on if you want. My shitty lead acid batteries can cope with.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Well, to be honest with you, we could do, mate. We could nip onto my boat. Not that it's cold here, actually. It's okay, isn't it? It's not too bad.
I've left the oven on low.
Yeah, so, it's not too bad. Because I was going to say, at some stage, if you want to pop onto mine, the only thing with mine is I've got to rearrange the chairs slightly because I broke the proper chair. But I'm gonna pop outside. I don't know. There seems to be like a sort of convention that when you're visiting someone's boat, I can't put this in a video. When you're visiting someone's boat, when you need a wee, you go outside. We on the tote. Do you do that? Or use your own? Yeah. Do you do that? Is that a thing?
Yes.
So I'm just going to pop outside.
Yeah. And likewise, when I'm on your boat, I wouldn't use your toilet.
Yeah. Well,
it makes sense. I think that's.
No, it does because I'm still.
To me, if I have guests like non-boater guests. Obviously, they'll just have to use.
They don't know the score.
And that's it. But let's say, for example, I had a non-boater guest, and we both went on your boat. Yeah. Then my guest would use my toilet.
Right.
That's how I would. Yeah. That's how I would. Likewise, if you brought a friend, a non-boater friend. The expectation that this is what I've gathered, which makes sense. Really.
No, I think it does. Yeah. Well, listen, I don't know whether you fancy popping onto mine for an hour or.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a pain. I'll bring this with me because I've still got that, and I've got. If you want to put those beers back in the bag, and I'll get them in the fridge.
I'm done with that actually.
Right. Because what I'll do is I'll wait to go to the toilet.
Your fridge. Oh, so yeah, actually.
I'll wait to go to the toilet. The only thing is...
That's what I do. I have another pair of these, and it's still ice.
How does it get cold?
Well, freezer, when it's running.
Oh, so the fridge during the day?
It's... Yeah, right. when it's not on, I put them in the fridge.
Right.
And they've been in 24 hours, and it's still...
No, fair play, mate. That is like solid pretty much. No.
That's personally what I do, and overnight as well, but...
Do you know what, Richard, right? As a solution, I'm not knocking it whatsoever. I'm just not. I think it's fine, right?
It's I know, it's a bit basic, isn't it?
But I think...
Yeah, I get it.
I
don't want to be accused of being like one of those boaters who just wants everything like to be like a house. There are different extremes to that.
It's still cold, and I've had chicken, and and it's fine. And
do you want to hang on to a couple of these for tomorrow? What I'll do, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll go to the shop.
We'll go to the pub tomorrow.
Well, yeah, we'll go to the pub, but also, if you want any, I'll cycle down. I've spotted there's a co-op in a village. Can't remember what it's called.
There's an Aldi that way.
In Altrincham?
Yeah.
What distance?
It took me about half an hour walking.
Oh, okay, so less than a mile.
No, it took well,
about a mile.
I didn't time it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll do me read. Don't worry, I'll sort it out later. But the only reason I'm asking, right, is because I can do 3 miles in about 20 minutes on the bike. So if you do want some beers, I'll pop up tomorrow and I'll pick you up.
The Aldi's around there.
Yeah, it's in Altrincham, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shops
we're
there.
So you just follow the... But if you want to gauge...
Where the one is, right, is Heatley.
Oh, Heatley.
There's a co-op there, and it's 3 miles.
It looks to be about roughly the same...
Should we turn it sideways?
Same distance.
So Heatley's up there, yeah, you're right. That's about 3 miles there. This is about 3. You're right, it's about the same. And I'll probably get better choice.
Because I prefer the cheap.
No, well, to be honest, co-op are ruinous. Yeah.
Well, co-op's medium. It's the Spars.
Yeah.
Ironically named cockpit.
Do you know what, right? Yeah. The thing at the top, they're like 80 quid. Yeah. The router inside that it connects to is, I think it was like 60. So it's not dirt cheap, but it does work really well.
The router I've got, it came free because it was a contract.
Right. So you've got that sorted.
Anyway, yeah, and it's got some plugs you can plug a coaxial cable into, but I think it's like if the contract ends, well within the right to say, send us the router back. It's their property, isn't it?
So you're not sure if that's going to be 100% yours.
Yeah, rather than with yours, you bought it, so it's yours.
Yeah.
I think it's their property. Isn't it?
Like what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave my wellies here. Okay. You can leave them indoors or outdoors. It's a shame, but so what I'll do, mate, right, is I need to. Yeah, it's the thing. It's I have it on, but I have it low. Do you know what I mean?
You've got the coal cage.
Yeah, on these evenings.
Yours isn't as big as mine either.
My stove,
Your stove. Mine's slightly. So I think that's why it's like when it comes to March, I don't want it on anymore. And
it's too much.
Too much. Yeah. Especially in the day.
No, this
feels like a waste. I think that's just. How did you get on when it was really cold in December?
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, just bang it in, bang loads of coal in. It works great because it's a small space, isn't it? You know.
Do you have to get up in the middle of the night?
No.
Seriously?
No. Honestly, man, that goes overnight. Yeah. I've never got it once in the middle of the night. Never.
You burn Excel, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why then.
Excel or even Excel Red. Most coal that I've had, I've tried XL Red, I've tried one or two others. Once I understand how it works a little bit, once I've got used to it, I know how to keep it overnight. Now in the winter, I wouldn't use the coal cage because that cuts down on the heat.
Yeah.
It keeps the fire away from the walls. Now in the winter, it would be full of coal.
Right.
I would have from side to side almost. So the fire is in direct contact with the sides and it gives off loads of heat. Oh my God. This is 30 degrees in the winter in here with that. It's insane. I can't handle it.
I find if it's above freezing, I don't need to get up. I can turn it down, but if it's below freezing, I find I need to open it up a bit overnight just to keep it relatively warm, and I have to chuck more coal in if it's below freezing.
You shouldn't have to do that, mate. Honestly, you should be able.
Even when it was minus a gazillion?
Minus whatever, yeah. You should. Your stove should be fine overnight. Whatever it is, that
I top that up. I don't know, it's supposed to be what time you go to bed. I go to bed about midnight, say, and I'll top it up at about 11:30, and I'll make sure the coals are it's all looking good, like you know what I mean? It's just an art. You learn, you sort of, as you go, you learn, and you go, right, I know now that the bottom coals are red. It's all there. The top coals are not fully, you know, they're quite still, they're a bit black, so they've got loads of burn left in them, the middle there, and you sort of judge how your fire's going, and you make sure that on the top you've got loads of unburned coal, but there's enough heat to keep that going, and you judge the air vent, and you're like, I'll just, and you just balance it, and it runs all night long. And honestly, I get up, it's actually warmer. I swear to God, this is what people don't understand. It's warmer in here if I get up in the morning in January with -3 outside. It's warmer in here than it is if I get up in the morning in May and the stove's off and it's gone to sort of 5 degrees.
And you've left it for 11 hours?
No, but I'm not got it on then. Do you know in May when it's sort of getting a bit...
No, but like, when you get up, it's winter. You've not left it for 11 hours?
Not 11, no. I'd say, no, because I'll get up at, say, 8.
Okay.
I'll get up at 8.
You go to bed at midnight?
And I'll go to bed, so 8 hours, it's fine.
Top it up at midnight, right? Okay.
I'll top it up at about 11. 11, half 11, because I always give it about half an hour to see how it's going and just make sure it's set for about midnight. Sometimes I'll do the same thing if I'm not going to bed early. If I'm going to bed at 1, I'll do the same thing where I'll top it up about 12, and I'll just get it to the right point that I know it's going to go for 8 hours, and then I can go to bed. And there's still, and in the morning, all I do then in the morning, because it's all running all winter, give it a shake, get the all the ash out, and just put new coals on top, and away it goes. Away it goes. And there's so much latent heat being kept in here. And this is with 2 windows open, by the way, all night long.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
the top, you just leave that on half?
It depends. The top vent is not so important when you're burning coal. It's more for wood. I believe wood needs the top vent open, because air from the top.
I believe
coal.
It's to keep the window clean.
Well, that's what so I've always got half a mind on, I want to leave it open a bit, right? But if I leave it open too much, what will happen is the coal will burn out too quickly. Exactly. Yeah. So what I tend to do in the winter is I'll have that on about 1/3 or 1/4. That's 50. Okay. I'll turn it down to about 1/2. It's really difficult because they're crap. Look how much adjustment you've got. You've got bugger all adjustment. It's hard to fine tune it. With the coal cage, I've got that all the way over. If I had it filled with coal without the cage, I'd have it right the other way. It's that coal cage that affects how you set it.
Mine, if it's not too cold overnight, I'll chuck it, fill it up with coal, chuck it right down, and it's fine for 8, 9, 10 hours.
Yeah, same as me.
But if it's -10, when I was frozen in December, I'd have to put the bottom on, let's say, half, just to keep up with the
temperature.
With the temperature, and then I'd have to refill it middle of the night. That's the routine I. Yeah.
Listen, mate. Far be it from me. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn this chair like sideways, or to face you or something. What I would do normally, I'd sit on my little office chair, but it's obviously it's busted now. And I want to give you like a little table or something to put a drink on.
Don't worry, I'll just put it on the floor.
So I'm just wondering where is the best place for me to put my chair. How about the problem is I have all sorts of stuff underneath these things. So if I reposition it, how about if I put it there? That'll do, isn't it? It's not. I don't want to be antisocial, you know.
No, don't try them. But I've stuck with them.
Do you have these under things? Do you know what I found? I don't know whether you might be interested, but what I found are these stick-on ones. Well, these are stick-on anyway. They're stick-on strips.
The stick-on strips.
They're stick-on strips.
I don't think I need. I'm personally, I'm just happy with them like fairy lights.
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
cooking in the kitchen or something, I just whack on.
You
the
put your
LEDs
main lights
and
on,
put
yeah.
the main lights
I
on,
like
yeah.
a bit more light, mate. I do like a bit more
Yeah.
light. I do, yeah. I don't know what it is. Psychological, you know. It's psychological, I guess, and it's individual preference, isn't it? You know.
It
There's-
is.
there's no right
happy,
or wrong.
I'm happy with quite.
You are wrong, but I mean, there's no right or wrong really. But you are wrong.
down to yeah.
Listen,
down
mate,
to taste.
you
isn't
can't
it?
get a
So-
chick on that boat. Where are you? Sorry, you're that way, aren't you? You can't get a chick on that boat. They're going to go, oh, come on. He's got to be an axe murderer. Look how dim it is.
No, I'm that way.
Yeah, sorry, you are that
I'm
way, yeah.
yeah.
You get a woman on that boat, they're going to be like, oh my God. I can't even see his face. It's too dim in here, you know. I mean, it's bad. If the camera can't even focus.
Well, I think the women have to be to go out with me. And if you think about it, you know, it's like
There's just none. They're not there, are they,
not
mate?
there.
I'll tell you something, right? This is why I think your Lancaster plan is a good one, right? In that respect, it's good. Because, see, I don't really care. I'm sort of, you know, I'm 60 years old, so
yeah.
I'm sort of okay with that. And also, all of the women that are on boats seem to be that sort of age group anyway. So, you know what I mean? Or at least most.
I'd say 80% of narrowboaters are
Like over 60, aren't they?
60.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was expecting that anyway.
Do you know what
and,
down south it's not the same though, you know? Have you spent much time down south yet?
No.
Mate, honestly, it's a different world, you know. Go on the K&A, there's loads of youngsters down there. You fit in, honestly.
I would.
You'll have women
I
chasing
think,
you.
with all due respect to them, it's cheap housing, really.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's.
Hang on, are you going Canal
Whereas
World on me?
whereas-
Are you going
No,
Canal
I'm not
World
going
on me?
Canal World on you. Which is fine, but.
But sorry, mate, I'm interrupting. Sorry, yeah, but it's cheap housing for them.
It's
yeah,
cheap.
Yeah.
Whereas my motivation, it's not that. So I think if I meet up with a lady friend who has a boat just for
You
cheap
sound like a
housing,
Victorian gentleman there. I mean, with a lady friend.
you know, as soon as she can get into a house, it'd be sack the boat off, and I don't think I'd want to do that. To be honest, I'd rather.
Yeah,
stay on the
do you know
boat
what? I
myself,
sort of accept it, and I think it's an easier sacrifice for me to make at 60 than it is for you at, what are you, 30 odd or something?
Do you know what? Funnily enough, it's my birthday today.
Is it?
Yeah. 34,
No.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, many
What a way
returns.
to celebrate!
I know,
Trying
yeah,
to fix
yeah.
the fucking ever
Yeah,
splutter, you know.
No, 34 today. I mean,
30.
you should have said I would have got you a little present or something.
No, it's fine.
You know.
It's just a numbers.
No,
now,
to be honest-
isn't it?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, it is for me now. It is, you know, it definitely is for me because, you know, you don't even want to know the numbers. You know, you just don't. When you hit 60, No, I hit 60 a few weeks ago. 6th of April was mine.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Well, you know, not
Bus
not
pass
really.
soon.
But yeah, well, but I don't want to think about it. But you know, it is a thing though. It is a thing because you've got to. I feel like it's easier for me to accept the lack of women. You know, because I've screwed up that many relationships anyway. There's kind of, you know, I'm only going to do a mess up another one. But at 34, it's more challenging to have to say this lifestyle. Like, I love this lifestyle and the travel, but the price of it makes it 10 times more difficult.
Yeah.
And
I fought long and hard.
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I made the jump on that side. To be honest, I did.
And that's why I'm suggesting, right, the idea of maybe having a look down south, because you will find a lot more youngsters on boats. Go down to London, paint the inside white. You will fit. I'm telling you now. Better still, a converted lifeboat.
Hey,
even
did you
better.
see the lifeboat?
Yeah. I love those. You know,
Yeah.
I think they're great. I haven't got a problem with them. I'm
Boats are fucking boats to me.
yeah, exactly.
Wide beams, whatever.
Yeah.
Lifeboats, whatever. I don't-
to be honest, the
I
wide
don't
beams,
care.
right? From my point of view, wide beams. I couldn't go on the Llangollen and stuff, and that would be a shame. So there is that.
No,
you
but
know.
I mean, like certain narrowboaters don't like wide beams and
Yeah. Oh no, there was a couple. There was a guy who went past me even today. You know, in those two wide beams. You texted me.
Two fatties on the way. Yeah.
I met them by Lynn Marina Boat Sales.
Yeah.
Have you seen that place? It's
yeah, I went past it.
I looked at this when I was thinking about buying a boat.
They do sail-aways, don't they?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it long and hard, and I was like, if I could fit the central heating, and if I could fit the stove, and I was trying to work out all the different ways, and when I added up all the stuff I needed, like I'd need steps. There was loads of stuff that had never occurred to me, and I went away thinking I'll just get this sail away for like 50 grand and I'll be afloat. But by the time I added up all the gear that I needed to make, it's sort of it's 20 grand, 25 grand's worth to make it properly habitable.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, then I'm up to 75, and I could get a really nice boat used for 75. All the problems have been ironed out, you know. So in the end, I sort of went off it, but I can get why some people, if they're super handy, would go that route.
Yeah.
And the big
I know
win,
someone who bought a sail away.
Well, the big win is.
But he was a joint.
He was a dab hand, yeah.
So he's doing it all.
Yeah.
Out himself, and it's took him all winter. So.
But the big massive win, right? You've got a brand new engine. If you look after it, it's good for 20 years. You know what I mean? That's
longer, I reckon.
Or longer. You're not buying.
Well, my engine's approaching 20 years old.
Is it?
So yeah, it's a 2005 boat. What I've got.
Still running fine, yeah.
Touch wood.
Yeah, always.
Well, apart from like the stalling and that. But I think that was
that's
filters
your fuel.
Yeah,
do you know what, mate? Honestly,
yeah.
I'd get on top of that. You know, far be it from me to sort of advise people, because A, I know bugger all, and B, I'm a massive hypocrite anyway. Because everything I say to other people to do, I never do myself.
You're right. I have been trying to keep on top of it.
But that fuel, with an old engine, I would, yeah, definitely. That's one thing. Because let's be honest, you've got to, with those older engines, right? You've got to do. They're so expensive to. You cannot have anything going wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? They're so expensive. If it ever came to saying it's a rebuild or it's a recon, you don't want to go down. I got a recon, right, in a car that I had a Ford Mondeo.
Yeah.
It was 3 years old. A sales rep had it, and he basically run round the M25 at 90 miles an hour for all of its life.
Yeah.
And I got it, and 2 years in, the engine blew up. The big end went. And they said to us, we can do your reconditioned engine. The reconditioned engine blew up about 2 months later. It had no power. It was
some reconditioned engines are just paint.
Every one I've heard, not everyone, but a lot.
Change the spark plugs and paint the outside. That's it. Off you go.